You know, one of the most difficult things for parents to learn is how to discipline their children without taking their children's value or destroying their children's self-esteem. You know, many parents don't pre-plan their discipline, and as a result of that, they just shoot from the hip and end up damaging the emotions and the identity of their children, wounding their children, making their children feel worthless because of what that son or daughter did. You know, we've taught so many parents how to learn to discipline their children and build their self-esteem, to bless and honor their children while they're disciplining. Let me give you a real simple example. Have you ever seen a father or mother try to get a 5-year-old to eat peas, for example? Do you know most children don't like peas? And what usually happens, for, let's say it's a father sitting at the dinner table with his family, and he says to his 5-year-old daughter, "Honey, eat your peas." She says, "No." He says, "Honey, but peas are good. Watch, Daddy will eat some peas." No. And he says, "Honey, the spoon is an airplane. Open the hangar door." No. And so now what do? Do you know that most parents are at a loss? They don't know what to do. And as a result of that, they find themselves in a power struggle with a 5-year-old, and they're losing. So parents begin to raise the intensity and the volume of their voice. They start to yell and maybe in the end actually try to force that child to eat the peas. Do you know if you do that, you'll destroy the value and the self-esteem of your son or daughter. And many people have had their value taken from them when they were little children by their parents. And you know, many times that does damage for years and years to come. And that child feels worthless, powerless, controlled, and like nothing I can do is right. I can never please my dad or mom. So as a parent, how would you do it differently? How about this scenario? I saw one father actually do this. He came to the dinner table dressed as a waiter with a towel over his arm and a dish of peas in the other hand, and he approached his daughter. The mother and family were sitting at the table, and as he approached, he said, "Good evening, miss. My name is Dad. I'll be your server tonight. For your dining pleasure and enjoyment, we have your choice of luscious green peas and television after dinner, or no peas and no television after dinner. What's your choice?" The little girl said, "I'm not eating the peas, but I want television." He said, "I'm so sorry, miss. We're out of that selection tonight. We have your choice of luscious green peas and television, or no peas and no television. Which would you like?" She said, "I'm not eating the peas." He said, "Very well, miss," and took the peas away. After dinner, of course, she ran into the family room, grabbed the TV remote, and began to try to turn it on. And she said, "Daddy, Daddy, the TV doesn't work." He came in holding the power cord, you know, in his hand and said, "Yes, I know. Remember, you had a choice at dinner? Peas with television, no peas, no television. You chose no peas and no television." "But Daddy, it's my favorite show." He said, "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I love you so much. You're so precious to me. But no television tonight." And see, he could discipline his daughter with a smile. Well, she whined and pouted a little bit more, but he simply applied the consequence of her choice. Now, you know, how many times do you think that father had to do that? If you guessed one, you're correct. The next week he came again, dressed as a waiter. "Good evening, miss. For your dining pleasure and enjoyment, we have luscious green peas with television, or no peas and no television. What's your choice?" She said, "Okay, I'll eat the peas." And you know, he didn't have a problem with that in that family every week after that. Whereas if he would have yelled at her, screamed, tried to force, he would have created a lot of rebellion in her heart towards him as a dad, and he would have had that battle probably almost every single week. And so all of us as parents have a choice. We can learn how to discipline our children with honor and blessing, or we can learn how to discipline our children and take their value, not bless them, damage their identity, and take their self-esteem. It's just a matter of learning. You know, we've developed many resources that explain this in much more detail, and you might check out some of these resources on the website www.familyfoundations.com.